Everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to game 57 of the tournament where we are playing Vanarus. It is turn... why do I do this every single time? It's turn 34. It's turn 34. But we have completed Enchantment 3 and Thaumaturgy 1 and Thaumaturgy 2 on our way up to Thaumaturgy 3. We have empowered someone in Glamour. Yay! We've summoned some Firebirds. We did a Voice of Apsu, found nothing. Dark Knowledge, found nothing. We did find a Thunder Oak in Iron Peaks, which is cool. And then we have a couple of battles. We did get attacked in Gentle Woods. That mass of Bear Clan did come for us. Bear Clan and Nidilvas. We have not a very large force here, but we have seen how these units trade, and the hope is that this is a larger force, and it's just gonna get, like all things, just get chopped up by Herdman. So let's see if that's the case. So first up, we get some Thunder Strikes, deletes some Nidilvas. Very happy about that. That one did not do as much. We've got Cav. Oh, that was a nice Thunder Strike. Kind of probably deleted some of my own infantry, but, you know, is what it is. Ooh, those, well, they got set on fire, so. Yeah. I love watching evocations like that. So our heavy cav did lose up there, but the center got annihilated by the Herdman. As long as we don't lose anyone important here. Looks like they routed. Oh, maybe they didn't rout. Maybe they're just fighting. No, they routed. Alright, well, looks like we won. The Moss Body on the Archers. That's exactly who you wanted on. No, not the poison! Stupid Berserkers. Berserker! Job done. Anybody get that Bear Clan, mother? Alright, how'd it go? 91 units dead, right? Including a Wolf Clan Seathberender. Very nice. 39 Nidilvas dead. 44 Bear Clan dead. Pretty total wipe. We lost 24 units. 15 Herdmen, 5 Heavy Cav, 3 Heavy three Heavy Infantry, and a single Archer. We'll take that, right? Obviously, these are losses that, you know, we would rather not be accruing, but considering we're holding the choke points, and considering how much damage we are doing in comparison. Now, in fairness, these Chud Herdmen, again, 3 times expensive as the Bear Clan warriors. So technically, we did lose, money-wise, about as much as he did from Bear Clan warriors to Chud Herdmen. But he also has the Nidilvas there. He lost this Wolf Clan Seathberender. So definitely very favorable for us. We attacked in Starthenthorm and got a whole line of Herdmen. And looks like just a little bit of PD here. Oh, I say looks like just a little bit. What? Oh, these are Crow Clan Seathberenders. That's cool. I didn't even realize that. Okay. He's got a communion. Got some Raised Dead coming out. Raised Dead. Alright, so this is a fun little thing. It's not gonna matter. Please target the mages. Oh, that sucks. Oh, man. Oh, no. Yeah. Wait. Weird how it lists them as crows in here. but we know that those are the transformed version of the Crow Clan Seathberenders, right? So yeah, that was 3 of them. Holy fuck. Hold up. Yeah, that's these guys. They transform into a crow. That was another 2 of his slow to recruit 490 gold mages dead. That's rough. That's really, really rough. And in such a casual engagement, too, right? Because, like, what we have popping into Starts and Thorm is just the dregs. This is the largest section of, or gathering of Chud Herdmen that we currently have. But it really was just the leftovers of the battle in fucking the Cursed Land, right? So this fight, I mean, costs us almost nothing. And just off of the Crow Clan, Seathberenders, that's 1,000 gold. Like, that is rough. That is real rough. I get what he was trying to do, I suppose, but if you were gonna do something like this, you needed to PD dump this province. You needed to, if your intention was to say, hey, if he tries to take this back with whatever was left after that previous battle, and your intention is to have these Crow Clan do the deed, then you should have taken basically all the money that you had this turn, or at least like 1,000 of it, and just dumped it into PD, just in the hopes that amount of PD is gonna just hold for a little while these guys do things in the back. Now, I also question the idea of these are big cap only mages, and you're using them in a communion to boost one crow by 1. They're already all Death 3, right? Probably would have just been better just casting Raise Dead on all of them. Right? Like, I don't really think you were getting much out of... Now, Raise Dead, so presumably he doesn't have Horde of Skeletons. You know? Because, I mean, if the intention was to do a Horde of Skeletons communion, sure, that kind of makes sense, right? But... yeah, I don't think you... Even against a smaller force, even if it was only like 30 Herdmen, I don't think this has any chance. If the 3 crows were doing their own summoning, maybe you could flood enough to overwhelm the 30 Herdmen. And if you had PD dumped... right, there's 1 PD here. There's 1 PD here. What's it got? It's got... this has heavy cav. This has militia, sure, whatever, right? But this has light cav, which not great, but does have a bow. Can trigger berserk, which is useful. And this has heavy cav, right? Like, if you'd pumped 30 into this and had those Crow Clan here, I think we still would have won, honestly, because we sent in nearly 70 Chud Herdmen, right? But if it hadn't been that many Herdmen, if it had only been like 30, and you PD dumped, and you had the Crow Clan here's individually casting things, then I think maybe you could overwhelm like 30 Herdmen. I don't know. That's an unfortunate loss. It's not a big engagement, but that's another 2 cap-only mages gone. And I think we've killed 2 in the prior engagement, and then I think we've killed 1 or 2 in engagements before the last turns. So that's a lot of these Crow Clan down the drain. As well as the unique hero, right? So just super duper painful. We also pinged Ragdan just to kind of see what we're dealing with in here. So we've got a massive block of ghouls, a pretty massive block of long dead, and then the double massive block of shitty Deer Tribe javelins and shitty Deer Tribe short bows. So there's all that, and then lodged in the back, get a man fiend, who just has a bunch of gems. So this is actually a pretty easy throne, all things considered. We could probably take this without very many losses, with probably like... we gotta be careful, right? Because this is gonna be overwhelming for too small of a number. We could probably take it with very few losses, depending on what the Mountain Fiend does, by just sending a thug in here. But we could probably just send in like 60 or 70 Herdmen, and they would probably do the job nicely, though they'd take some casualties, right? So that's good. That is good to know. Worldwide event has occurred. Upcoming arena battle, and we have a new famous hero. Wait. The guy that we pinged the throne with. And we pinged that throne with this guy, by the way, because he was crippled and limp, right? So it was like, what's the point of sending him up there? But we got an arena battle. He's got heroic quickness. Let's throw him in. Primarily, we're just throwing him in because he's the only commander that I have that's really not doing anything. And I think it is always worthwhile to throw at least some throwaway commander into an arena battle, because a lot of people don't send anything. And if nobody sends anything, you get a free good item, and often, like, some other reward, right? Like gold or gems or whatever. It's absolutely worth just tossing a random commander in and crossing your fingers, you know? What else is going on this turn? Recruitment wise, Sage, more Herdmen. Finishing up this Vanabog, more Herdmen. We are still recruiting a Vieden here, still recruiting a Vieden here. Movement wise, you can see we are moving more Herdmen to the front, moving more Herdmen to the front. We don't have very many Herdmen in Templewood, so we're probably going to move towards holding that. But also, you know, that gives us the opportunity to potentially take Karnag, which is just kind of sitting there. Maybe we start going underground in the very near future. We still have our own underground province that we still haven't taken. We have this Hearse here that, depending on how things go on the front, as we get the next set of Herdmen here, we're probably, as long as things are stable, we're probably going to send him down to take Umbra. We have the Lake of Living Water. We're sending a Water Mage out to kind of check in on that and see if we can get anything going there. Dominion Strength is still 2. I have no idea when we hit Dominion Strength 3. I thought it was at 8 temples, not including your capital, but that is apparently not the case. We're building a lab in Iron Peaks. Palisade comes up in 2 months. These are not attacks, or obviously it's my territory, but these are just sending commanders who are idle to pick up routed units. You know, every unit can count in this kind of like attrition-based situation. So let's pick them up, get those fucking knights back to one of the chokeholds and go from there. We are going to be attacking in Vertland, just sending the whole mass of Herdmen in there, because I'm not expecting anything from a threat here. I do expect him to move this army back either to his capital or to Eyal. And we're trying to keep eyes on his production in Amber Fields. Meanwhile, we're sending the dregs up from behind into Starthenthorm. We've done a little bit of PD dumping, not PD dumping, but province defense bolstering. A lot of our territory previously had I mean, some of it still does, had very little PD, especially in this kind of area, because, you know, we had been trading that back and forth with Nidavellir. Now that we're kind of holding it, we want to see if we can maybe defend against small raids. You know, if he brings 10 Crow Clan or something like that raiding, that can easily take 1 PD, but less easily take 6 or even 10 PD, right? So, got that going on. Recruiting some more heavy cav here or there. Research-wise, we will be completed with Thaumaturgy 3 this turn. We're going to start into Alt 5. Really, Alt 5 specifically, we're heading for Storm, but that is also just a step stool for future research that we'll want. And then over here, we're gonna be playing around with this idea. I don't know if we're committed yet, but one, we've got our first At the End of the Rainbow firing off, so fingers crossed that works out. But two, you can see we're doing a little bit of forging. We've got a Stone Bird, Dragon Helmet, Lightweight Scale Mail, and Ice Aegis. Over here, we've got a Thunder Whip and a Storm Spool. So potentially, depending on what this guy rolls, obviously if he rolls something really well like, you know, air, then I mean, if he gets a 10% random, we're probably not doing jack shit with him. But presuming he just comes out as like a, you know, air fire or air death or air glamour, we probably will outfit him and then go see if we can play around on some of these outskirts. Not super backfield, but we can see things like, you know, there's a temple up here, so maybe we would be able to go snag and pop that and just cause some economic damage to Nidavellir to kind of expedite the bleed, basically, right? So that is the generalized combat concept there. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We are up to 32 birds. 32 birds on turn 34. We're catching up. We're slowly catching up. We haven't found shit for Astral. I've been considering. So we're about to have augury, right? So when we hit augury, we would in theory be spending 6 fire gems per turn doing augury, firebird, right? So I've been considering, instead of doing that, right, because we do want to augury, well, we want to see if we can get higher fire income, because if we get higher fire income, that could lead us into other things, including more firebirds down the line, right? As we do that, I'm considering if we don't dump the gems that we have into arcane probing. Because also, if we get, you know, 4 or 5 astral pearls, could give us the ability to empower more of these, like, Vanarusian sages, which turns them into firebird casters down the road. So we might be pulling double duty on that in the near future. But for now, mostly just chilling, producing more, moving forward. Once this palisade goes up, I'm really considering either Gentlewoods or Boggetson to be the next place that we just start throwing stuff. Especially if we take Karnag, take Umbra, and start going underground. Because these provinces, they kind of nerfed cave provinces. They're not as good as they used to be, but I mean, you can see this is 75 gold just sitting there. And it doesn't look like anyone has gone underground. So, I very well might, depending on how this front looks, probably not with this one, honestly, with this group. This is 54 Herdmen. We probably need them on the front. But if we don't, then we could send them underground, and all of a sudden, you know, if it's 75, 30, 40, you know, assuming it's around 100 per every 2 provinces, if it's 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. You know, that could be a lot of extra income that no one's cashed in on at the current moment. Last but not least, we see a very large army of man marching on Satis. So this is scary. We're going to be following this army as best we can. Obviously, once we start getting into Satisian lands, it's very likely that our scout just gets diseased out the wazoo. But we're going to try to follow this army and see what is what. We got Kushis, Knights of Avalon, Longbows, Knights of Man. It is turn 34. My assumption is that because we have you know, a Conjuration 5, Alt 4, Evocation 4, Construction 5. We'll be at Construction 6 pretty soon. My assumption is that Satis already has Foul Vapors. And if Satis has Foul Vapors and man does not have Serpent's Blessing, then this is going to be a little dicey. Now, in fairness, Knights of Avalon have baked-in poison resistance on both the Knight and the Unicorn, so they're relatively immune. But Landless Knights do not, Longbowmen do not, and I don't remember if Kushis do or not. And we don't know their bless yet, so it's possible that they have like a little bit baked into their bless, right? But basically the situation I'm trying to get at is on one hand, I really hope man has Serpent's Blessing because I feel confident that Satis has Foul Vapors. And on the other hand, I really hope man doesn't have Serpent's Blessing because if man has Serpent's Blessing and Foul Vapors, you know, Foul Vapors will still do a little bit with Serpent's Blessing. I believe like the poison ticks up and eventually it can like override the 5 poison resistance that you get, but it takes a long time, right? Or it takes significantly longer than a battle with someone like man is probably going to but basically, I'm hoping that man doesn't have Serpent's Blessing because we don't need them to just march on Satis and win and then suddenly be 3-cap nation while we're still trying to finish a war with Nidavellir. Because that's basically a game for us, right? Like there's nothing that we could do, and honestly, they wouldn't even necessarily have to fight us. No one's taken thrones yet, right? But theoretically, man can get to this one very easily. This is already in their sphere of influence. If they defeat Satis, then this one's going to be in their sphere of influence, and then this one would just be on the border. So it's just take these two, and then send an army at this one, send an army at this one. Okay, have fun, profit. Now that being said, obviously, right, like we can try to do things, but it's going to be very difficult if man just runs Satis over. So I'm hoping that man doesn't have Serpent's Blessing and Satis has Foul Vapors, which I'm sure Satis has Foul Vapors at this point. Or if man does have Serpent Blessing, then Satis has some other plan that they have going on, right? Like maybe maybe they went up because oh no, yeah. So if they have Foul Vapors, they also have Rigor Mortis, right? So maybe a Rigor Mortis play without I guess that's the flip though, is if they have Serpent's Blessing, they also have relief. So that kind of that kind of does put a damper on things. And I guess also technically it's not just like Serpent's Blessing. Serpent's Blessing is just like the big de facto answer. But, you know, if they have enough Poison Ward casters, then that also works. And man absolutely has the capability of doing this, right? Both of... No, not with them. Well, yeah, they have access to nature randoms, so probably the Mothers of Avalon. And the Crones could very easily, if he doesn't have like a double random nature mother, then a Crone easily put up. So lots of interesting things going on. Really excited to see what the next 5 turns are, because again, if man just marches into Satis, this is going to be a slow war against Nidavellir. If man just marches into Satis, it might not matter. Could be over pretty quickly, and we need it to not be over pretty quickly. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.